Okay, so lately, I guess in the last few videos, I've been just jumping right into my low, my high, my acts of kindness without telling you I'm about to do those things, or about to mention what they are, I should say. So I'm gonna be a little bit. I'm gonna try and be a little bit better about that. So, with that said, my low yesterday was no kidding. Because here's the thing. Here's how it works. I try uploading my videos to Facebook before I bring them to YouTube, and sometimes I can try and get them both to upload at the same time. And the one on YouTube uploaded, thank goodness. But Facebook would just not cooperate at all. And come to think of it, ever since we entered the month of May, like, it hasn't been cooperating. Like, it takes so much longer for a video to upload than it should. And I really don't get why. I mean, I'm not doing anything different. I think maybe it's the time of year or something. So, if you're on Facebook waiting for yesterday's video, sorry about that, but I don't think it's going to come out. It is on YouTube though, so that's more important. And technically, there is a link to that video on Facebook, so the video is right there if you're interested. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I've just been doing it on Facebook because for the first 3 months I was doing this, that was all I knew how to do. Do I really need to upload to Facebook anymore? Well, technically no, but it serves as a backup in case for whatever reason, like, YouTube doesn't cooperate, and so I have to go via Facebook to download the video and try it again there. But rest assured, everything's fine. Clearly, since I was able to make a video and upload it onto the internet at all, you clearly saw that, I did it just fine. So, there's that. Other than that, though, I've been procrastinating on a couple of things, but I'll get to that in a minute. As for my high, pretty obvious. This is the first time I got to hang out with my mom in a good while, because pretty much all last week she was out on vacation. And yeah, I did pick her up from the airport on Saturday night, and I did see her on Sunday, but, I really was missing my mom a lot more than I thought I was, and seeing her last night and being with my parents, that was awesome. Like, even, not that I was feeling bad, but this is what the doctor ordered. At least that's what I think. And my act of kindness was I helped set up and clear the table after we had dinner. And so with that said, good morning and happy Tuesday, everyone. So, in case anyone was wondering, last night we had breakfast for dinner. It was awesome. Usually if my mom makes breakfast for dinner, and I did mention this in the Mom Food Chronicle about it, she'll make either pancakes with bacon, sausage, and I always have my eggs fried when she makes them because she's got bacon. Gotta cook the egg in bacon fat. That's the only way to go. It's so unhealthy, but it's so good. Runny yolks, of course. And the other thing she'll make is if she has stuff like leftover ham or onions and tomatoes and peppers, she'll make like this giant egg scramble. And obviously there's cheese in it, of course, because you gotta have cheese with your eggs, of course. And we'll have that with toast. And she'll make bacon too for that, I guess. So yeah, but last night it was the pancakes, a couple sausages, and got myself a fried egg, of course. Although I don't think I've ever actually told anyone this, but if ever I have a fried egg and I ask for a runny, I will go out of my way to eat around the yolk, just eat all the whites, because the whites are always delicious. And I'll carefully try and scoop the egg yolk onto a spoon, or precariously place it on my fork and just eat the yolk wholesale and just let it burst in my mouth. Oh, that's so good. It's so good. It sounds disgusting, but man, it is totally worth it. Anyway, so naturally, I had my pancakes with lots of maple syrup and butter. That's the way to go. And obviously, some people get grossed out by food touching other food, but come on, man. The sausage was touching the maple syrup. That's like a win, dude. That's awesome. So yeah, totally worth possibly sounding kind of gross when I eat breakfast for dinner, but that's what I do. And again, it's my folks. They don't judge, usually. And there you go. And honestly, there I go procrastinating again, because I was going to talk about how I've been procrastinating on a couple of things, and I'm talking about dinner, and technically I procrastinated on what I was going to talk about procrastinating about. So, full disclosure, I haven't seen the newest episode of Amphibia yet. I know, shocking, right? If I'm being honest, I kind of had the opportunity to do it on Saturday, but the way everything worked out, because if you remember, we had a party at my brother's house in the afternoon, and yeah, there was food, but we didn't really have much. And then around 7:30 or whatever, when they finally had the Kentucky Derby, that's when we ordered we just got chicken wings from a Picnic Pizza. Chicken wings from Picnic Pizza are always a good thing for me. Not literally good for you, but you get the idea. And so, when we got the wings, this was literally at almost 8 o'clock at night when that episode of Amphibia would have been on. So by the time I was done eating dinner, this would have been around 8:30 at night, meaning the episode was already half over and I missed a vast majority of all the major plot points. So I am kind of bummed. At the same time, in the end, what really matters is I got to be with my dad, waiting for my mom to pick her up from the airport, and there you go. And I haven't really found an opportunity to watch it since. I'm going to try and do that today or maybe tomorrow. I'm just going to have to see how it plays out. But I will be getting that video out soon, very soon. Especially when I've been doing everything I can to avoid spoilers. And they've, seriously, I see thumbnails and everything about spoilers, they're everywhere, get away from me. That's what it is. So, in case you're wondering why I haven't talked about the newest episode of Amphibia yet, now you do. But that's fine. I am going to be getting out to you. I mean, come on. I've done, pretty much the entire series. Why would I stop right before the end? So, don't worry about that. It is coming out. So, there you go. The other thing I've been procrastinating on is... Okay, so, full disclosure... As you know, I am a huge Pokemon fan. Always have been, always will be. And you may also know that lately I've been playing Pokemon via downloading, ROMs that you can play on your computer. It's very simple to do. You can just go to just as simple as finding a good link on the internet and downloading it, as well as an emulator to play it on. I've been using a Visual Boy Advance to play those games. I know when it comes to those Pokemon games, it's only Generation 3. So everywhere from Bulbasaur to Deoxys. So only 386 potential Pokemon you can play as. But, still a pretty big Pokedex. And plus, thanks to this one thing called PK Hex, you can actually form your own team and have it be theoretically you could have a team of 6 Mewtwo's if you wanted. Not that I would ever do that, because honestly, if I ever play through a Pokemon game on my ROM using PK Hex, I'm actually going to try and keep it moderately, simple. Don't use any legendaries, stuff like that. Although I will admit, I just straight up go for start off let's say for example, I can get all 3 starters from all three of those first generations, and I can use them in, the Generation 1 remakes being Fire Red or Leaf Green, or the actual Generation 3 games, which would be Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, right? I could be playing Emerald, and part of my team could be the starters from Kanto, i.e. Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, right? I can actually, using PK hacks, you can actually make it so you already have, Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise. Although, I still like to keep things fair and start them out like, level 1. But you can do that, and it's awesome. So, you're probably thinking, Nick, you can literally have any Pokemon you want. So, why are you procrastinating? What's the problem? Well, the problem is, let's be honest. If you've ever paid attention to Pokemon at all, whether it's playing casually or competitively, some Pokemon are just clearly better than others, whether you like those Pokemon or not. What's a good example? One Pokemon that everyone seems to really like a lot is Butterfree, right? And as cool as Butterfree looks, you saw Ash had a Butterfree, right? Butterfree really isn't very good. Like, at all. It's frail. A bug flying type really isn't what you would consider defensively sound. And not to mention there are Pokemon that otherwise outclass it, being a fighting type, being a bug type, or a flying type. And Butterfree just happens to be both. And trust me, that's not the only one. Seriously, I could say a lot about Pikachu. In fact, I actually once had made a video about how to make Pikachu better way back in 2018. Basically, for those of you, this is way the heck back in 2018, right? I talked about how to make Pikachu better. Just have it hold 2 items and have them both be the Light Ball and the Eevee. That's what you gotta do. And it'd be unstoppable. Of course, the Pokemon can only carry 1 item at a time, so take that what you will. My point is, some Pokemon, as awesome as they are, and keep in mind, I have used some of those Pokemon. I've even used Pikachu in a playthrough of one of those games. Sure. Although then again, the rest of the team is fully evolved Pokemon that are either pseudo legendaries, Pokemon you trade in order to get. Other really strong Pokemon are the starters, those Pokemon, you understand? So I'm always pretty much at a crossroads as to who my team is going to be. Oh, here's the thing. It's who I want on that team. And I have to make sure that on that team, I have a designated Pokemon that knows how to use Surf, so a water type. And just for the sake of convenience, even though now that I think about it, I don't really find myself using it much, but for the sake of convenience, I need a Pokemon that knows the move Fly. As it was basically that game's warping system. And by warping, I mean you go from one place and you go to another place that's also very far away. I believe in gaming terms, it's also called skip travel, because by all accounts, you are technically flying to that area. So, yes, it's not just about having a Pokemon team full of Pokemon that I really like, which is easily the hardest thing about it, but I have to make sure that there's a Surf, the Pokemon that knows Surf, and a Pokemon that knows Fly. Actually, the term used for Pokemon like that are HM slaves. Or possibly HM whores if you really want to sound kind of dirty. So, there you go. And yeah, there's got here's the thing. Some Pokemon I don't need on my team that know HMs. Strength is a very prevalent, HM that you have to use in any of those Pokemon games. But I need a strength. But I don't need a Pokemon that knows Strength on my team to get through the game. Not necessarily, anyway. But it's nice to have it. Usually, I just keep the starter I don't wind up using, have them use Strength, or any other HMs that I don't necessarily need to function through the game. I mean, I need a Pokemon that knows Cut. That's why Charmander is such a good starter for what it is if you're going to do this. Because it can use Cut and it can use Strength. Yet, surprisingly, it can't use Flash. Yeah, I mean, the end of its tail is on fire, and it can't use flash in the rock tunnel or any of those other tunnels that you need, flash for instance. Like, actually, the second gym in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, that's the Dewford gym. It's funny, they give you the badge that allows you to use flash outside of battle. But throughout the entirety of getting through that gym, it functions as if you need flash to get through that gym. But even if you had it, you can't activate it until you get the gym badge. So, in order to get your second gym badge in those games, you are literally stumbling through the dark to battle trainers and, get your gym badge. I will admit, I love Pokemon with all my heart, but, any Pokemon fan is going to tell you there's a whole bunch of things about Pokemon that either don't make sense, or you have Pokedex entries that are just plain bizarre, and some of which are even creepy. Seriously, look up Bayonet and find out that Pokedex description. That one's creepy. Cacturn is also pretty creepy too. And there's a few Pokemon theories that are also really creepy. One of my favorites is that Gengar is literally Clefable's shadow. Because, their body types match up and stuff like that. Literally, if Gengar stood right behind Clefable, it'd be like, shadow. Actually, speaking of Gengar, that's another problem I have. Because if I'm ever playing through these games, and I want Gengar on my team, for whatever reason, I gotta have Alakazam. I gotta have Alakazam and Gengar. You're probably like, why? You just need one of them to accept. Here's the thing. With one of those two, actually, not just those two, but technically also Machamp and Golem if you know what you're doing. With one of those four, you essentially, ladies and gentlemen, I've beaten the game. If you have more than one of them, you're like, ladies and gentlemen, I've beaten the game twofold, or threefold, or even fourfold, if you're actually using all four: Gengar, Alakazam, Machamp, and Golem. Other Pokemon I would easily recommend would be, this is Generation 3, so Rhydon, pretty much anyone who's overused and underused competitively in that generation, I would consider using. So, again, the starters, Pokemon you need to get from trades, pseudo-legendaries, and a few others. Those are really good. But again, there's just so many good ones, I don't know who I want on my team. And again, Fly Slave, Surf Slave. Gotta have those. And that's honestly why having, one of the most convenient teams I've ever had was, all three Kanto starters. Because Charizard can fly and Blastoise can use Surf. Venusaur, I don't really know. Venusaur, I don't really teach him any A-Gems. Usually, I just give him a Grass move, a Poison move, one of the hidden powers, and Earthquake. That's usually what I do. Come to think of it, Earthquake is a move I just use a lot in those games. Just because it wrecks everything that doesn't fly or have Levitate. Gengar has Levitate. Yeah, I will admit, I love Gengar. I love me some Gengar. But again, if I have Gengar, I gotta have Alakazam at least. And then I gotta feel Golem and Machamp are left out. I gotta use those too. It's so hard to do. I don't know, maybe I'll think of something. Anyway, favorite, share, subscribe button, follow me, social media. I'm very hungry this video for all of you guys watching. Enjoy for me. Hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Remember, you're going to talk to me, heal, and enjoy. Take care and make good choices. See you again.